So there's 42 horses to run to complete the Roma Wire and Steel Campdraft, and our first competitor in will be Louise Comiskey and One Wild Cat, owned by Rob Jones. And Louise is, of course, from Capella. Standing by number 2, Jarvis Weaver. Number 3, Rowan Marks. Number 4, Matthew Moffat. Number 5, Joe Marr. Number 6, Troy Palmer. Number 7, Mitchell Hoy. Number 8, Thomas Hinman. 9 will be Rip Hopkins. 10, John Templeton. 11, Kurt Hanrahan. And 12, Jamie Gray. That's our first 12 competitors in the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. And it is a shootout. It's a one-rounder. So they'll be riding very, very hard in this one round. Also want to take the opportunity to thank Charlie Keegan. Charlie Keegan Creative is an industry-leading equine marketing and design agency servicing clients in Australia, United States and Canada. Established in 2016, Charlie Keegan's Creative not only had 8 years of experience in design and marketing industry, but also a background of campdrafting, cutting and reining. Also Cowhorse, giving you the confidence to choose Charlie, knowing you're choosing an agency with years of experience and knowledge as a competitor, breeder and stallion owner within our industry. So services include graphic design, social media management, stallion and sale horse promotion, and the list goes on. Sponsor in our stallion draft. But of course our major sponsor is Roma Wire and Steel. And we are about to get underway with our first horse, One Wild Cat, ridden today by Louise Comiskey. First horse out. This is number 1, Louise Comiskey, riding One Wild Cat. Number 2, you'll be next, Jarvis Weaver and Duck and Down. Standing by also, number 3, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks Linesman. Number 4, Matthew Moffat's Springsteen. Number 5, Joe Marr's Billa Billa Cooler, Pros and Cons. And number 6 will be Troy Palmer with Binia Shaquille. And we have a cutout score of 21.5 for Louise Comiskey and One Wild Cat. Now looking over his cattle is competitor number 2, Jarvis Weaver and Duck and Down. So he's having a good look at the Willinga Pastoral Co cattle that we're using for the entire event. And standing by will be number 3, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks Linesman.
So Duck and Down is an open stallion. He ran second at the Warwick Gold Cup, second in the Chinchilla Grandfather Clock, won the Stallion Draft at Paradise Lagoons. He's an absolute athlete.
Out on course, competitor number 2, Jarvis Weaver and Duck and Down. 3 goes on camp, Rowan Marks with Turner Marks linesman, standby 4, Matthew Moffat Springsteen, and number 5, Joe Mars, Billa Billa Cooler, pros and cons. Jarvis Weaver, we watch with Duck and Down, competitor number 2. Score for Jarvis Weaver and Duck and Down, cut out 16, horsework 57, course 3 for a total of 76 points. It's a 76-point round for Jarvis Weaver and Duck and Down, competitor number 2. 3 is on camp. It's Rowan Marks with Turner Marks linesman. Standing by number 4, Matthew Moffat. Number 5, Joe Mars. 6, Troy Palmer. 7, Mitchell Hoy. 8, Thomas Hinman. 9, Rick Hopkins. 10, John Templeton. 11, Kurt Hanrahan. 12, Jamie Gray. 13, Byron Davidson. 14, Ben Hall. 15, Matthew Moffat. And 16, Steve Comiskey. Unfortunately, that is a no score there for Rowan Marks and Turner Marks linesman. We move down now to competitor number 4, Matthew Moffat and Springsteen. Standing by number 5, Joe Marr, Billa Billa Cooler, pros and cons. And then number 6, Troy Palmer, Binner Shaquille. This is competitor number 4, Matthew Moffat, riding Springsteen, owned by Brad and Bryony Comiskey. Joe Marr, you're on camp with Billa Billa Cooler, pros and cons. Standing by number 6, Troy Palmer. 7, Mitchell Hoy. 8, Thomas Hinman. 9, Rick Hopkins. 10, John Templeton. And 11, Kurt Hanrahan. We watch competitor number 4, Matthew Moffat, riding Springsteen. And we'll have a cutout score for Matt. Twenty-one for cutout for Matthew Moffat and Springsteen. This is our Mount Marshall competitor, Joe Marr, with Billabilla Cooler Pros and Cons. Comes in as competitor number 5 in the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. Standing by then, number 6, Troy Palmer, 7, Mitchell Hoy, 8, Thomas Hinman, 9, Rick Hopkins, 10, John Templeton, 11, Kurt Hanrahan, 12, Jamie Gray, and 13, Byron Davidson. So we watch competitive 5, Joe Marr, Billabilla Cooler, Pros and Cons. We'll have a score for you for Joe Marr's Billabilla Cooler Pros and Cons very shortly. Once again, very big thank you to Peter and Tony O'Neill for accepting the opportunity to judge the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. Scores through, cut out at 19 1/2, Horsework 60 1/2, course 4 for a total of 84 points. It's an 84-point round for Joe Marr and Billabilla Cooler Pros and Cons. He's a heritage stock horse sire. Next competitor is number 6, Troy Palmer, riding Binia Shaquille.
Shaquille is a 10-year-old stallion by Binia Impressive Destiny out of a Jabel Shakira spin. He's won maiden open drafts in May 24, the Chinchilla Grandfather Clock cutout in 2022, both Sire and Dam are ABCRA Open Horses of the Year and World Championship Campdraft winners. Warwick Gold Cup in 2017, Warwick Stallion Draft in 2016, World Championship Campdraft 3 times, 24 ABCRA Horse of the Rider titles. Nutrien Open Masters and Stallion winner. You only get out what you put in.
And that was a cutout of 21 1/2 for Troy Palmer and Binia Shaquille. Next competitor is number 7, Mitchell Hoy with Saltwater 5 Metallic Acres. Standing by number 8, Thomas Hinman, Destined to be a Grifter. 9, Rick Hopkins, Oaks Spin and Cat. 10, John Templeton, Tell Us 2 times. 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil, Destiny's Diamond. 12, Jamie Gray's Highway to Hell. And 13 will be Byron Davidson's Berrigoon Truce. So that was competitor 7, Mitchell Hoy with Saltwater 5 Metallic Acres. A score shortly. It's a cutout of 21 1/2. 21 1/2 there for Mitchell and Saltwater 5 Metallic Acres. We now watch competitor 8, Thomas Hinman, with Destined to be a Grifter.
Destined to be a Grifter is by Hazelwood Conman out of OT Ford Valley Annie. He's a 10-year-old stallion. He's an open challenge horse. Grifter has consistently won finaled place through his career and is being campaigned now by Tom Hinman with an amazing incentive program over $500,000.
Thank you, Karen. And Thomas is out on course with Destined to be a Grifter, competitor number 8. Number 9 enters the camp, Rick Hopkins with Oaks Spin and Cat. Standby number 10, John Templeton, Tell Us 2 times. 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil, Destiny's Diamond. Score for Thomas Hinman and Destined to be a Grifter, cut out 16, horsework 63, course 4 for a total of 83. We now watch competitor 9, Rick Hopkins, and Oaks Spin and Cat.
Oaks Spin and Cat is by the sire Cat Silver and the dam Spin. He's a 16-year-old stallion and he is an ACA cutout horse and open horse.
Karen, he's also owned by Tom and Gwenda Rayleigh. So he's out on course now, competitor number 9, Rick Hopkins and Oaks Spin and Cat. Into the camps, number 10, John Templeton, Tell Us 2 times, standby 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil, Destiny's Diamond, and 12, Jamie Gray's Highway to Hell. Score for Rick Hopkins, Oaks Spin and Cat, cut out 22, horsework 59.5, course 3 for a total of 84.5 points. That was competitor 9, Rick Hopkins, Oaks Spin and Cat. Now we watch competitor number 10, John Templeton, with Tell Us 2 times. Kurt Hanrahan, you'll be next at 11 with Bobadil, Destiny Diamond.
So Tell Us 2 times is owned by Beau and Emily Frame. He is a by Metelli's Cat and out of a mare called Teletrona Imported. He's won maiden and novice drafts in his first 2 starts.
And he's out on course. Competitor number 10, John Templeton, with Tell Us 2 times. Into the camp goes 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil, Destiny's Diamond. Standing by 12, Jamie Gray, Highway to Hell. 13, Byron Davidson's Berragoon Truce. 14, Ben Hall's Hall's According. 15, Matthew Moffat's Granite. 16, Steve Comiskey's Yavin Spinnaboon. 17, Mark Budsworth Branchfield Metal Alloy. And 18 will be Robert Leach's Hazelwood Congressman. Score for John Templeton and Tell Us 2 times, cut out 21. Out on course, number 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil, Destiny's Diamond. Score for Kurt Hanrahan and Bobadil's Destiny's Diamond, cut out 21, horsework 60, course 3 for a total of 84 points for competitor 11, Kurt Hanrahan, Bobadil's Destiny's Diamond. Looking over his cattle now is competitor number 12, Jamie Gray, with Highway to Hell. Standing by 13, Byron Davidson's Berragoon Truce. Standing by also 14, Ben Hall, Hall's According.
So Highway to Hell is owned by Jarrah Park and he is a open stallion by Jewel Ray and he was bred to chase a cow.
And just a reminder, the sponsor of this draft is Roma Wire and Steel. And the winner of the Stallion draft will be taking home a beautiful Ride Tuff Buckle along with a photography package valued at $1,200 from Charlie Keegan Photography. Lyn Barnes has also donated a very special original oil painting. Subject will be the winner's choice, and it will be valued at $8,000. And the highest cutout will take home an Australian Stockman saddle pad. And now we watch competitor 12, Jamie Gray, Highway to Hell. 13 is on camp, Byron Davidson, Berragoon Truce, stand by 14, Ben Hall's According, 15, Matthew Moffat's Granite, 16, Steve Comiskey's Yavin Spinnerboon, and 17, Mark Buttsworth, Branchfield Metal Alloy. And that was a cutout of 22 there for Jamie Gray and Highway to Hell. We just carry on now with number 13, Byron Davidson, Berragoon Truce. At the gate should be 14, Ben Hall's According, and 15, Matthew Moffat's Granite.
Out on course, we have competitor 13, Byron Davison, and he's riding his own nomination of Berragoon Truce.
Yeah, see if you want to do that for the ones that, just so you got...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Save me doing it. We'll do it. We'll get it.
We're going to be right.
You wait till the big open. We'll be like just spinning it off each other. 2 on 22, okay. Kimberly.
Outside, we watch Ben Hall on Hall's According, and this is a Ben and Jay Hall Stallion.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's better if you keep that there, because I can read off here. You all right? No, keep that close to you. No, that's good. As long as I know you're doing it. So we have a score for Ben Hall and Hall's According, cut out 21.5, horsework 62.5, course 4, new leader, total of 88 points. 21.5, 62.5, course 4, total of 88 points for Ben Hall and Hall's According. Now we watch competitor 15, Matthew Moffat and Granite.
So outside, we watch competitor 15, Matthew Moffat, riding a Quartz Hills Syndications nomination, Granite.
16 on camp, Steve Comiskey, Yavin Spinnerboon, standby 17, Mark Buttsworth, 18, Robert Leach, 19, Joe Payne, 20, Carly Graham, 21, Ben Tapp, 22, Sean O'Hanlon, 23, Andrew Turvey, 24, Joe Marr, 25, David Rita. Please stand by. Score for Matthew Moffat and Granite, cut out 17, horsework 60, course 4 for a total of 81 points. That's an 81 pointer for competitor 15, Matthew Moffat and Granite. We now watch competitor 16, Steve Comiskey with Yavin Spinnerboon. Next will be 17, Mark Buttsworth, Branchfield Metal Alloy, and standby 18, Robert Leach's Hazelwood Congressman.
So outside we're watching Steve Comiskey on Yaven Spinnerboon. Yaven Spinnerboon is owned by Morrison Equine.
There will be a score for Steve Comiskey and Yaven Spinnerboon. Competitor number 16. We now watch on camp 17. Mark Buttsworth with Branchvale Metal Alloy. Standing by 18, Robert Leach. 19, Joe Payne. We're just conferring with scores for Steve Comiskey. We'll have them for you shortly.
So outside we watch Branchvale Metal Alloy with, of course, Mark Buttsworth as the jockey. He is a Kuba Performance Horses owned, and he is by Metallic Cat. He won the Gundawindi and St George NCHA Futurities, the Futurity Draft at Kuya. In 2022, he won the Cloncurry Stockman's Challenge, and in 23, the Nutrien Classic Challenge.
Thank you, Karen. And very shortly, we'll have a score for Mark, but I can give you the score for Steve Comiskey and Yaven Spinnerboon. Competitor 16 had a cutout of 18, horsework 60.5, course 4, for a total of 82.5 points. That was for Steve Comiskey and Yaven Spinnerboon. Very shortly, I'll be able to give you the score for Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy. There is a little delay here. We do have 2 judges. So we're just doing an aggregate score for you very shortly for Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy. We now watch competitor 18, Robert Leach with Hazelwood Congressman. And standing by, we'll have 19, Joe Payne, 20, Kylie Graham, 21, Ben Tapp, 22, Sean O'Hanlon, 23, Andrew Turvey, 24, Joe Marr, 25, David Reeder, and 26, Rick Hopkins. Please stand by. I do have a score for Mark Buttsworth and Branchville Metal Alloy, cut out 22.5, horsework 64, course 4 for a 90.5. That's a new leader, 90.5 for Mark Buttsworth and Branchville Metal Alloy.
As we watch Rob Leach go around the first peg on Hazelwood Congressman, this is his own nomination. Now, Hazelwood Congressman is by Hazelwood Conman and out of Duloc Midnight Run. He's a winner of 15 Open and Stallion drafts, including Warwick Stallion Draft, Epic Open, multiple ASHS Nationals and Nutrien Toowoomba Open.
And we await the score for competitor 18, Robert Leach and Hazelwood Congressman. Just on camps 19, Joe Payne and Cole Black. Standing by 20, Kylie Graham, 21, Ben Tapp, 22, Sean O'Halloran, 23, Andrew Turvey, 24, Joe Marr. We have a score through for Robert Leach and Hazelwood Congressman, cut out 22, horsework 60, course 4 for an 86 point round for Robert Leach, Hazelwood Congressman. Now we watch
Joe Payne on Cole Black. This is a Brett and Wendy Kerr nomination. So Cole Black is side by Glencoe Last Word. He's a multiple Open, Draft and Cutout winner. He's also placed second in the Warwick Stallion Draft, third in the Canning Downs and second at Condamine Bell.
Score for Joe Payne and Cole Black, cut out 22, horsework 64.5, course 4 That's another 90 and 1/2. So we have two at this stage with 91.5 points. Mark Buttsworth, Branchfield Metal Alloy. And now we have Joe Payne with Coal Black. Oh, sorry, we have... No. So just confirming there, we have Mark Buttsworth, Branchfield Metal Alloy, and Joe Payne Coal Black, both sitting on 91.5 points. 90.5 points. Then we have number 20, Collie Graham and Con Moon standing by. 21, Ben Tapp's Bill. 22, Sean O'Hanlon's Aussie Cat. And 23, Andrew Turvey's Anchorman.
Outside, we have Kylie Graham riding Con Moon. On to room, Con Moon is Mangala Stud Resident Stallion by Hazelwood Conman out of Kylie's Metallic Cat Mare Metallic Moon.
Score for Kylie Graham and Con Moon, cut out 15.5 points. That was competitor 20, Kylie Graham and Con Moon. Just having a little tidy up in the camp, and we will continue on with competitor 21, Ben Tapp and Bill. Standing by 22, Sean O'Hanlon and Aussie Cat. 23, Andrew Turvey's Anchorman. 24, Joe Mars, Joe Mark Glory. 25, David Reeder's Coolum Recon. 26, Rick Hopkins, Super Act Shiraz. 27, Robert Durkin's Durkin's Gunman, and 28, Lachlan Thompson's Durkin's Leroy Brown. Just confirming once again, we have Mark Buttsworth, Branchfield Metal Alloy with a 90.5, and Joe Payne's Coal Black also sitting on 90.5 points. We're underway again with competitor 21, Ben Tapp and Bill.
So Bill is owned by Ben himself, and they are our Wandoan competitors.
Score for Ben Tapp and Bill Cutout, 21, Horseworks 60, course 4 for an 85. It's an 85-point round for Ben Tapp and Bill, competitor 21. Now we have on camp competitor 22, Sean O'Hanlon and Aussie Cat. Standby 23, Andrew Turvey's Anchorman.
So Sean has been announcing all weekend. We're so appreciative of his wonderful announcing. He's riding Aussie Cat, and Aussie Cat is his own nomination. They hail from Melmerrin, and I know Aussie Cat is an imported stallion. Bimetallic cat.
He heads out onto the course. Sean O'Hanlon with Aussie Cat, competitor number 22. Into the camps, 23, Andrew Turvey and Anchorman. Standing by 24, Joe Ma Glory. 25, David Reeders, Coolum Recon. 26, Rick Hopkins, Superact Shiraz. And 27 will be Robert Durkins Gunman. Please stand by. 15 and a half for cut out there for Sean O'Hanlon's Aussie Cat. Andrew Turvey we watch, competitor 23 with Anchorman. Joe Ma, you'll be next with Joe Ma Glory at 24.
So Anchorman's sire is Conman, out of a mare called Cab and Roses. He's a 6-year-old stallion who has had 5 starts, and he is the resident stallion here at Juandah Plains, as is the wonderful Andrew Turvey, Andrew and Courtney, who are the team leaders here, Juandah Plains, the managers.
Score for Andrew Turvey and Anchorman cut out 20 and 1/2. 20 and a half points for Andrew Turvey and Anchorman. $24 will be our next competitor, Joe Ma with Joe Ma Glory. Following Joe, we'll have 25, David Reeder, 26, Rick Hopkins, 27, Robert Durkins, 28, Lachlan Thompson, 29, Bryony Partycombe. 30 will be Oliver Salerno, 31, Matthew Moffat, 32, Luke Bennett, 33, Jay Hall, 34, Arton Smith. I believe there are 42 horses to run in this draft. And we are currently up to competitor 24, Joe Ma Glory.
Outside we watch Joe Ma on Joe Ma Glory, and this is his own nomination. Joe is a Mount Marshall competitor.
We have a score of 20 and a half points for Joe Ma and Joe Ma Glory. David Reeder is on camp at 25 with Coolum Recon. At the gates, 26, Rick Hopkins, Superact Shiraz, standby 27, Robert Durkins Gunman, and 28, Lachlan Thompson with Durkins Leroy Brown. And if you've just logged on, you're watching the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout.
So outside we're watching David Reader riding Coolum Recon. This is David's own nomination and he hails from Baramba.
And we'll have a score shortly for competitor 25, David Reader and Coolum Recon. As we wait, Rick Hopkins enters the camp at 26 with Super Act Shiraz. Standing by 27, Robert Durkin, Durkin's gunman, and that's a score of 21 for camp, 58.5 for horsework and 4 for the course for a total of 83.5 points, 83.5 for David Reader and Coolum Recon. And this is Rick Hopkins, competitor 26, Super Act Shiraz. Robert Durkin, you'll be next with Durkin's gunman, 27, and 28, Lachlan Thompson, Durkin's Leroy Brown.
So outside we're watching Rick Hopkins riding Super Act Shiraz, and Shiraz is owned by Rick and Les Hopkins from Ridgelands. Super Act Shiraz is by Hazelwood Common out of a dam called Warrenbri Eve. He's a 17-year-old stallion. He's novice horse and he has been an open challenge winner.
And that's a cutout score of 21.5 for Rick Hopkins and Super Act Shiraz. The judges Peter and Tony O'Neill have given the go-ahead to competitor 27, Robert Durkin and Durkin's gunman. Standing by then 28, Lachlan Thompson's Durkin's Leroy Brown, 29, Bryony Puttycomb's Macklemore Checks, 30, Oliver Salerno's Son of Hercules, and 31, Matthew Moffat's A Little Turbulence.
So as we watch Rob Durkin and Durkin's gunman head outside, he is Rob Durkin owned and they are from Baralaba.
Cut out 22 there for Robert Durkin and Durkin's gunman. 28 now in camp, Lachlan Thompson with Durkin's Leroy Brown. Standing by 29, Bryony Puttycombe, 30, Oliver Salerno, 31, Matthew Moffat, 32, Luke Bennett, 33, Jay Hall, 34, Arden Smith, 35, Joe Payne, 36, Kimberly Salmon, 37, Ty Blockland, 38, Robert Leach, 39, Mark Buttsworth, 40, Luke McEwen, 41, Pete Comiskey, and 42, last but not least, will be Bryony Puttycombe. But we now watch competitor 28, Lachlan Thompson, and Durkin's Leroy Brown.
Lachlan heads out on course on Durkin's Leroy Brown. It's his own nomination there, and they are from Mount Fox. He's a maiden stallion by Conman out of Black Breeze.
And that's a 19 for cutout there for Lachlan Thompson and Durkin's Leroy Brown. 29 we watch, Bryony Puttycombe with Macklemore Checks. Standing by 30, Oliver Salerno, 31, Matthew Moffat, 32, Luke Bennett, 33, Jay Hall, 34, Arden Smith. So that was unfortunate for Bryony. She goes out with a no score on Macklemore checks. Get our very speedy backyard boys. We'll take that one out and we'll continue on with competitor 30. Oliver Salerno with a Son of Hercules. Standing by then 31, Matthew Moffat. 32, Matthew's riding A Little Turbulence. Then we'll have 32, Luke Bennett, Malungra's Moonbeam. 33, Jay Hall, Hall's El Doreo. 34, Arden Smith, Walcow Guitar Man. 35, Joe Payne, Spin Ray. And 36, Kimberly Salmons, SDP, Scott David. Just waiting on his fresh is competitor 30, Oliver Salerno, Son of Hercules. Matthew Moffat, A Little Turbulence. You'll be next at 31.
So Son of Hercules is owned by Salerno Pastoral, and Oliver is a Gold Coast, from the Gold Coast. He is a 7-year-old stallion. So Son of Hercules is a 7-year-old stallion by One Stylish Pepto out of a well-performed highbrow cat mare. He's won a maiden and multiple cutouts, and he was bred by Peter Shakespeare. Outside we are watching Oliver Salerno riding Son of Hercules.
The score for Oliver, cut out 16. 16 there for Oliver Salerno and Son of Hercules. 31 on camp, Matthew Moffat with A Little Turbulence. Standing by 32, Luke Bennett, Malungra's Moonbeam. 33, Jay Hall's El Doreo. 34, Arden Smith's Walcow Guitar Man. 35, John Payne Spin Ray. 36, Kimberly Salmons SDP Scott David. 37, Ty Blockland's Cooley. 38, Robert Leach's Hell's Destiny. 39, Mark Buttsworth Nonda Southern Cross. 40, Luke McEwen's Dowie Black Viper. 41, Pete Comiskey's Roy. And 42 will be Bryony Puttycombe and Time Checks. But at the moment we're watching competitor 31, Matthew Moffat, and A Little Turbulence.
Outside we're watching Matthew Moffat on A Little Turbulence. A Little Turbulence is owned by Don Williams, and Matthew is a Cabra competitor.
Cut out of 22. 22 for Matthew Moffat, riding Don Williams, A Little Turbulence. Next competitor, 32, Luke Bennett with Malungra's Moonbeam. Standing by 33, Jay Hall's El Doreo. That was 33. 34, Arden Smith, Walcow Guitar Man.
So outside we are watching Luke Bennett and Malungra's Moonbeam. Moonbeam is owned by Evan and Kim Acton. He is by Hazelwood Comman, out of a mare, Kirkby Stud Blue Moon. He's a 2024 Royal Sydney Show Campdraft winner. He won the Open here last year at Juandah Plains, and he's a Warwick Gold Cup finalist twice and a Canning Down finalist.
And Karen, I can tell you this is a very versatile horse, because if he's not campdrafting, sometimes he's show jumping. He and Luke go into the local shows and have a go at the jumps. I think he's quite successful too, so quite a versatile stallion. And we'll have a score for Luke very shortly. Cut out 22.5, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 88.5 points. Not enough for the lead, but right up there, 88.5 points for Luke Bennett and Malunga's Moonbeam. Next competitor, 33, Jay Hall and Hall's El Rio. Stand by 34, Arden Smith, Wildcow Guitar Man, 35, Joe Payne Spinray, and 36, Kimberly Salmon, SDP Scott David.
Outside we watch Jay Hall on Hall's El Rio, and this is a Ben and Jay Hall nomination, and they are of course from Julia Creek.
Cut out 21, horsework 60, course 4 for an 85 for Jay Hall and Hall's El Rio. Standing by then, 34, Arden Smith, Wildcow Guitar Man. Then we'll have 35, Joe Payne Spinray, and 36, Kimberly Salmons, SDP Scott David.
Outside we watch Ayrton Smith on Wild Cow Guitarman. This horse is owned by Murray and Loretta Smith from Mowra.
Score for Arden Smith and Wildcow Guitar Man, cut out of 19.5. 19.5 points there for Arden Smith, Wildcow Guitar Man. 35 is on camp, Joe Payne riding Spinray. Standing by 36, Kimberly Salmon, 37, Ty Blockland, 38, Robert Leach, 39, Mark Budsworth, 40, Luke McEwen, 41, Pete Comiskey, and 42, Bryony Puttycombe will complete the shootout for Roma Wire and Steel Stallions.
Heading out of camp, we watch Joe Payne on Spinray. He's owned by Rory Fitzgerald and Joe Payne from Mundubbera. He's by Jewel Ray, and his mother, his dam is Jessica Spin. He's the winner of 8 open drafts and over 50 open cutouts.
And today he has a cutout of 17. 17 for Joe Payne and Spinray. 36 on camp, Kimberley Salmon and SDP Scott David. Standing by, 37 Ty Blockland, 38 Robert Leach, 39 Mark Buttsworth.
So SDP Scott David is owned by Sam and Sarah Campbell. He's by High Drive Cat out of Spins Cherry Oak. He's a futurity finalist. Scotty has had 7 Campdraft starts for 4 seconds, 2 fifths and 3 cutout wins. Scotty's journey after his futurity has not been a smooth one after an almost career-ending injury. And a 6-year break, he overcomes adversity and returns to competition in March this year. So out on course is Kimberley Salmon on SDP Scott David.
And we have a cutout of 17 for Kimberley Salmon and SDP Scott David. Paying 3 places in this Stallion shootout, and at this stage we've got 2 leaders. Maybe things will change with the next 4 or 5, but at this stage we have 2 leaders, 3 places to sort out. Now we watch competitor 37, Ty Blockland, and Glammerly Cooley Acres is his real name, shortened to Cooley, with Ty Blockland, competitor 37, standby 38, Robert Leach, 39, Mark Buttsworth, 40, Luke McEwen, and 41, Pete Comiskey.
Outside we watch Lintorp competitor Ty Blockland on Cooley. Cooley is owned by G&M Nagel.
Score coming through for Ty Blockland and Glammerly Cooley Acres. Cutout 21, Horsework 61, course 4 for an 86. It's an 86-point round for Ty Blockland and Cooley. 38 is next, Robert Leach with Hell's Destiny, standing by 39, but Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. 40 will be Luke McEwen with Durawi Black Viper. 41, Pete Comiskey with Roy, and 42, Bryony Puttycombs Times Checks will be our last competitor in the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion shootout. We will do the presentations then of the ladies draft and the Stallion draft at the completion of this one.
So outside we're watching Rob Leach on Hell of Destiny, owned by himself. He's an acre by acres at Destiny out of One Hell of a Spin, and he was the 2023 Australia's Greatest Horseman Champion.
And that's a 16.5 for Robert Leach and Hell's Destiny competitor 38. Now we watch 39, Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross, standing by 40, Luke McEwen, Dowie Black Viper.
So outside we watch Mark Buttsworth on Nonda Southern Cross. He's otherwise known as Denzel. It's owned by Heather and David Pascoe. He is by Acres Destiny out of Nonda Happy Ever After. He won the Nutrient Open in 22, the Warwick Stallion Draft in 21, the Condamine Silver Bell Novice and the Rocky Rush Challenge as a 4-year-old.
And that's a cutout score of 20.5 points for Mark Buttsworth on Nonda Southern Cross. On camp, competitor 40, Luke McEwen, riding Dowie Black Viper. Standing by number 41, Pete Comiskey, and 42, Bryony Puttycombe.
So Black Viper is owned by Carlu Pastoral. He is a 7-year-old stallion by Conman out of Acres Doc Freckle Oak Mare. He's a novice horse, won the under 5 incentive at Dolby. He's consistently placing and finaling. His foals are proving to be as cool-minded and trainable as him, and he will be standing in Kilcoy this year.
Score coming through for Luke McEwen and Dowie Black Viper, who's part owned by our announcer up here. And we have a score for him, cut out 20, horsework 60.5, course 4 for a total of 84.5 points. It's an 84.5 point round for Luke McEwen and Dowie Black Viper.
Get in there, Green.
So outside we watch Nebo competitor Pete Comiskey on Roy. And this is Bryony's nomination. Bryony's, his lovely partner Bryony owns Roy. That's what my book says. They are from Nebo.
Score for Pete Comiskey's Roy, cut out 22, horsework 65.5, 4 for the course. That's a total score of 91.5. Not to be distracted there, Brian, you've got a job to do, but that's a 91.5. That is the lead at this stage for Pete Comiskey and Roy. But last but not least, he could still be pipped by Bryony. Bryony Puttycombe is our last competitor, riding Times Checks. She's competitor number 42.
Outside, we watch Bryony on Times Checks. This horse is owned by Pete Comiskey, and of course they're from Nebo.
So we do need to have a run-off for the cutout. So before we finish up, we do have a clear leader in the draft, but we do have a run-off for the cutout, and we will be requiring. We need a Luke Bennett with Willinga as Moonbeam. And we need Mark Buttsworth with Branchvale Metal Alloy. Both have 22.5 camp points. So we need Mark Buttsworth, Branchville Metal Alloy, and Luke Bennett on Willinga's Moonbeam for a run-off for the cutout. So just another notice after the Stallion shootout final, and we've obviously had the ladies final. After that presentation, we would like the maiden finalists to congregate at the cutout on the outside the yard there at the cutout yard before we do the other presentations. So we'd also like our sponsors to be there for the presentation for the Dulverton Angus and Glenelg Angus draft. So big thank you there to Greg and Sally Chappell and Roger and Tam Boschhammer. So we're just going to have a run-off for the cutout. We need Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy with a 22.5, and we also need Luke Bennett with Moonbeam also on a 22.5. First in will be you, Mark. So we have the run-off now. Luke is here as well as Mark. Mark's first in, riding Branchvale Metal Alloy.
So Branchvale Metal Alloy will have a lot of people barracking there at Cobar Performance Horses, and
So 22.5 points there for Mark Buttsworth and Branchvale Metal Alloy. Now he's looking over his cattle very carefully is Luke Bennett with Willinga's Moonbeam running off their 22.5 first round cutouts.
Kim and Evan Acton will be watching on with bated breath to chase that 22.5 with Luke as the jockey.
Oh, lots of excitement there for that one. We'll have a score. Looks like it's a 23. 23 for cutout there for Luke Bennett, and Malunga's Moonbeam. So he takes out the highest cutout in the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. So congratulations there. There are 3 placings for the Roman Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout, and we'll give you those very shortly. So we do have our winner and place getters in the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. Congratulations goes to Pete Comiskey with Nashville Roy L. Destiny. We'll give him his full title, seeing as he's won today, Pete, and commonly known as Roy. And he has a total score of 91.5 points. 91.5 for Pete Comiskey, our winner of the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. And tying for second and third is Mark Buttsworth with Branchvale Metal Alloy, and Joe Payne and Cole Black with a total score of 90.5 points. So congratulations to the winner and place getters of the Roma Wire and Steel Stallion Shootout. We will do the presentation straight away. We'll do the ladies draft, and then we'll do the Stallion Shootout presentation. We would ask all maiden finalists to don your shirts and gather at the cutout yard so that we can have you as part of the Grand Parade. And we take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Dulverton Angus and Glenelg Angus, sponsors Greg and Sally Chappell and Roger and Tam Bosch Hammer. And we also thank Roma Wire and Steel Stallion for the Stallion Shootout.